I just thought I'd show you, this is mohair that I've got. I'm pretty sure it's been washed already. It looks like it's been washed actually. I must have bought it washed somewhere years ago. Anyway, these are the staples or the curls. Some of them are a bit longer than others. But I thought I would put this on to soak and come back and dye this tomorrow for you and show you how I'm dyeing it with earth palette dyes, because mohair comes up beautifully when it's dyed. Okay, so I'm going to put it in the bag, only just to keep it all together so I can handle it better, and I'm going to put it on to soak. Okay, I'll show you how I'm going to soak this mohair ready for dyeing. So I've just got a bucket of water. This is a 10-litre bucket and it's probably got about 8 litres in it of just cold water. It's not even hot water. Okay, and into that I'm just going to put some white vinegar. It's just cheap white vinegar. And I'm probably putting about half a cup. So it's not very much in here of just white vinegar. If I was going to use, I use citric acid a lot because I don't like the smell of the vinegar. It makes it smell like I'm pickling my fibre. So if I was not going to use the vinegar, I'd use citric acid. This is just citric acid, and I'd use a teaspoon to put it in there. You can't really use too much in there, so I could easily put a teaspoon of that in as well and it wouldn't be a problem at all. But if vinegar is what you got, then use vinegar. And the same applies for whether it's mohair or fleece or whatever, tops. I just add the extra acid because the dyes need an acid environment to set, and if I forget that I've diluted them down a bit, then at least I know they've already got a bit of that acid in there. And then I'm just going to put it in, get the bubbles out, and I'm going to leave it in overnight. I like to leave it in to soak an hour or so just to make sure it's thoroughly wet, but I'm not doing any more dyeing today and I'll just get it in ready to do tomorrow morning. It's quite late in the day here now. So we're back with our mohair. It's been soaking actually for a couple of days now, and we'll tip it out. I've just pressed it down in the colander to get a lot of the moisture out over a bucket. Tip it out. As you can see, there's a little bit of, well, a reasonable amount of vegetable matter in this, but I dare say that'll all comb out, so I'm not going to be too worried about that. It's still quite wet, as you can see, so that's got quite a bit of vegetable matter, hasn't it? Okay, now, so I'm just going to arrange it on here a little bit before I put some dye on, and then we'll wrap it up, and once we put the dye on, let it set. Because it's still the middle of winter and it's not very warm here, I will once again have to steam this for about 15 minutes. Okay, so these are earth palette dyes and I'm just going to squirt them on. We'll do a little bit of overlap of the colours to sort of get a little bit of a change. Okay, this is chartreuse. And as I said before, the earth palette dyes have that bit of thickener in them which stops them sinking, the dye sinking straight through to the bottom and making a bit of a mud colour. So it sticks to the fibre a little bit. Our turquoise, which is always a really good colour. Turquoise unfortunately is a little bit trickier to set and needs to have the temperature more than the normal earth palettes dye set generally between about 23 to 25 degrees room temperature sort of temperature. They actually like to have it a bit warmer. They like to have it about 25 to 27 to set really well. So that's the violet. I've lost my cloth, hold on. Okay, here it is to wipe my hands. The brilliant red. And the orange. Now I'm going to put a little bit more yellow on here, on this end, just to keep our rainbow going. And maybe even a little bit more chartreuse right on the end. Just make sure you can see. Okay, so now I will just turn it over to make sure we've got a decent coverage, and it looks pretty good on this side. As you can see, it hasn't soaked all the way through, but it's not looking too bad. Wipe my hands again. Don't want any cross-contamination. I might just touch up those few spots that need it. A little bit of violet here. And as I said before, you can't, you've got to think about what colours you're putting together. Now purple and red go together because they're a similar colour families, but you can't put purple and orange together or you're going to get a browny sort of colour. More yellow here. And a little bit more chartreuse right on the end. Okay, now just move them off. I might just put a little bit more yellow on this one. I didn't touch that one up. And I didn't put any more turquoise there, but perhaps I will a weeny bit more. Okay. Now we'll smush it in a bit so we get a good seal on the plastic. Wrap it up. And then I will put this into steam for about 15 minutes and I'll come back and show you what it's like when it's all rinsed out and dried off. So this is the mohair fleece we dyed. It's steamed yesterday and then cooled down overnight. As you can see, the plastic sticks to itself quite a bit, makes a good seal. This pallet wrapping does. The pallet wrapping, I'm not sure if I mentioned, I get it from Bunnings on a roll. It lasts me 12 months for a roll, so which is good. It's a bit hard to get out. Okay, so perhaps we'll just tip it out, shall we? Okay, so it is still a bit wet and that, but the colours have set nicely. There is a little bit of colour in it, but nothing too concerning. So now I'll just put it into one of these mesh bags, rinse it out, leave it to dry, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all nice and dry. And so this is our mohair. It's wet, straight out of the rinse water, and I've spun most of the water out, but it is still wet. It'll fluff up obviously a lot more once it's dry, but the colours have come out pretty gorgeous, and it will fluff up quite a lot once it's totally dry. Let's see if I can just pull out a bit of a curl here for you to have a good look at. So, yeah, okay, I'll get it dried and I'll be back to show you how it looks tomorrow. How gorgeous is that piece? So this is our mohair that's dry now, that we've dyed. The curls are pretty cool. I think this must be from a couple of different fleeces because the curls are different. Okay, it's nice and soft. And the colours are pretty good. So all that we need to do now is spin it or felt it. Do whatever you want with it, really. So yes, let's have a look. Pile of purple. These ones are pretty cool. Mohair just fluffs up really lovely when it's combed or carded, ready for spinning. And the vegetable matter, like some of it, a lot of it will fall out while you're washing and processing, and certainly while you're carding it or comb it. And even, like you can see, I don't know if you can see, there's a bit of stuff that's falling out even just while I'm handling here. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and feel a little bit more confident about doing a little bit more of your own dyeing with the earth palette dyes. Thanks for joining me. Feel free to give us a thumbs up, a like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.